This program is coming to us by courtesy of Star Ghana, strengthening transparency, accountability, and responsiveness, Ghana. As usual, our listeners and audience, our viewers can join us in the discussion along the line. We will open the phone lines. In the meantime, you can send your text messages to 0505 311 879. That's 0505 311 879. Please do not call that number, just send text messages. On Twitter, you can also follow us. Our handle is CurriculumGH, and tweet via hashtag CurriculumGH. Once again, this program is coming to us with support from Star Ghana, strengthening transparency, accountability, and responsiveness, Ghana. Now, we are joined in the studio by three very important guests who have passion for education. We have two from Beneficiary Districts of Ho and Cape Coast. First to my left is the top dog of education here. I'll say the Ghana Education Service. Representing the Ghana Education Service here is Mr. Stephen Edu, who is Director of Basic Education. To my left, next to him, I have Mr. Dixon P. Bansa. He heads the Human Resource Management and Development Unit of Ho Municipal Education Directorate. And to his extreme left is Mr. Said Wahab. He's an assemblyman from Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly. I think I would have to ask you that question first, Mr. Said. The first question goes to you. But before I ask you the question, let's do the honors and give our farmers, hardworking farmers, a happy Farmers Day. Today is their day. We're celebrating Farmers Day throughout Ghana. Let's acknowledge them. A lot of hard work. They fed us. They continue to feed us. And agriculture is the backbone of Ghana's economy. Happy Farmers Day to all our farmers. Now, back to the studio here, Curriculum. Yeah. Mr. Wahab, yeah. We've been talking about the issues of falling standards, basic education in Central Region. It's been a big issue. The curriculum had looked at the unregulated lifestyles of pupils in the municipality, parental irresponsibility, teacher absenteeism. These are factors that we gathered have contributed to the falling standards of BEC in Central Region, that some of the schools have been scoring zeros in BECE, the cradle of knowledge, Cape Coast, which has been a source of worry to a lot, including yourself. Now, Mr. Wahab, as an assemblyman, a teacher, a parent, civil society activist from Central Region, what sort of agitation went through your mind as you watched GTV on the platform, the curriculum, unearthed some of these issues that bogged and bordered on falling standards of basic education in Cape Coast?
Thank you, Rebecca. Let me first of all say good evening to our cherished viewers, particularly in Cape Coast. The issue of parental responsibility and all others is a great worry for all of us in Cape Coast. Indeed, when the product of semi-curriculum equal opportunities, different opportunities came up and gave birth to curriculum that we watch on GTV, a lot of people were amazed. A lot of people were amazed because although somewhere along the line we were aware that standards were coming down consistently, but hardly did we link it to parental irresponsibility and all other issues that were raised in Cape Coast. At this juncture, let me say that when curriculum was aired on GTV, the issue came up even at the assembly meeting, where all assembly members, particularly those who were interviewed under the project, became very, very, very amazed equally. And we all thought of having a way of reversing the trend.
But personally, what went through your mind as you watched all that on television? I mean, you're living with it all these years.
Yes.
But what went through your mind as a person? You're a parent, a teacher,
yes,
in the place, an assemblyman.
Yeah, let me say, in fact, I bowed ashamed, because why do we have to live with this all this while? So if a curriculum has not come, wouldn't we have actually recognized that this is what is going on? So I was actually worried, when I close from school, where I pass home, it's a park, you know, St. Lawrence School Park. Around 6 p.m., you will see some of the children still, you know, playing around. It's a source of worry. So I was amazed. I was very, very, very sad to see these things.
And I know as time go, you know, we go into the discussion, it will all tie into why you took the trouble to push forward for some change,
exactly,
for which we are talking about this evening. All right, Mr. P. Bansa from Cape Coast Municipality. A lot of stories have emanated from there when the curriculum was aired. For you, you know, how would you say that, did you know about the story of Aklamakpetoy? Aklamakpetoy, of course, MA Primary School, is a school in a deprived area. We are told that it's in Nive, close to Nive, which is about 45 minutes, if not more, drive away from Ho. Correct me if I'm wrong. And very bad road and all that. And with the help of your directorate, the former director, GS Mrs. Humado, directed us to the place, and we got the attention of the school on GTV, and others came to your help. Now you've told us, we're hearing that a lot of people are going into Aklamakpetoy to assist that deprived school with computers and other things, we are told. My question to you, this is personal, did you not know about the plight of the people of Aklamakpetoy as in that school before we got there? Did you or did you not?
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca, and good evening to our cherished viewers. Rebecca, Aklamakpetoy is not new to us. We know everything about Aklamakpetoy, yes, but as to how to go there and bring the changes we've seen, we didn't think about it until GBC Star Ghana entered that community. That was where we said, no, we have to sit up and do something about Aklamakpetoy. So that was to you very personal? Yes, very personal. You know what was happening? Aklamakpetoy, as I've already said, will come up and all of a sudden Sublime, the school will go down, the children will move. But at a point, we said, no, this school should come to stay. And I must congratulate the current head of the school. In fact, he's done so much, and I know he wants to do much for that school. Yeah, so when he went there, we also supplied the school with all the requisite number of teachers that they need. That was the first thing we did. Yes, but you know, it's the sole responsibility of the municipal assembly to provide the structures for the school. So we're also looking up to them to do that, and it was not forthcoming. However, we don't have the resources, and our hands were tied at our back, so there was nothing we could do, waiting for the assembly to come in. Well, now we know they have one classroom. No, even the second one is even about to start, as you are aware.
At courtesy of
Rotrat. Yeah.
And the fact that GBC showed your case on a much broader platform.
Exactly.
All right. Mr. Edu from GES, how is all these stories that you're hearing coming up? How is it coming to you? How is GES receiving all these stories?
Thank you, Rebecca. Let me also add my voice to wish our farmers happy Farmers Day, and also to wish your cherished listeners good evening. Talking about some of these challenges that we face, at least the Ghana Education Service is very, very much aware. We have the EMIS data that talks about some of these challenges that we face. We have over 35% of our basic schools without toilets. We have more than 40% without water, and then we have more than even 50% without electricity and other things. So we are very much aware of all these challenges. But as you know, it's not very easy just addressing some of these challenges just for a moment, because the unfortunate thing is that Ghana, the population is increasing. And whilst population is increasing, the enrollment is also increasing, but we are still using the old facilities that we have. The expansion of our school buildings is not as the population is increasing. So we are not very much, it's not very surprising, because as you know, we have been tackling schools under trees over the years, but every time we have still many schools under trees to cover, just because the enrollment keep increasing. We put in interventions. If you look at these social interventions, we are trying to bring all the children who are at home to school. So automatically, the numbers in the schools will increase. So the only problem that we have at the moment is how we can really match the increase in enrollment with the facilities in our schools. But we are very much aware. If you look at the programs that we have already rolled out in the country, we have programs for the deprived communities. Currently, we have 75 districts which are benefiting from the Global Partnership for Education grants to support them to improve on some of these facilities. We have introduced school grants to complement the capitation grants so that they can do some basic maintenance in their schools. The district also have a grant that is also supporting them to do some of these basic things. So we are very much aware of these things, and then we are doing everything possible to ensure that at least they are addressed. We also have been championing the fact that the district assemblies will have to come in, because if you look at the constitution, it talks about basic education being the responsibility of the district assemblies. So we expect that the district assemblies will be helping in this respect. The central government has been doing a lot, and we also expect that these assemblies to also to add to what the central government is doing, so that in effect we will be able to address all these challenges that we come across in this country.
So, Mr. Du, from all that you've said, obviously there are challenges. Central government alone cannot bear the cost of education, and therefore the call is to district assembly and others. So how are you receiving the news after GBC Star Ghana went into whole Cape Coast of Boise and Sherman? We've heard some stories of changes that have happened, the building of toilets, the building of boreholes, building of classroom blocks. How are you receiving that in GES?
Thank you, Rebecca. Let me take this opportunity to thank GBC Star Ghana, Alice, for this opportunity. Anytime that is shown on air, I receive a number of calls across, especially the places where these things are happening, an indication that people are very much appreciative of what is happening. But sometimes people feel that why are we showing only the bad side of the Ghana Education Service, but nothing good about what is happening. So I'm very happy that at least along the line, at least we are seeing also the good things coming from GBC Star Ghana, which in a way is showing us that they are not only interested in the bad side, but they want also the public to know, so that they can also support the Ghana Education Service to address most of the challenges that we face. So personally, I think it's a good thing that some of these things are happening, and the awareness are now being created. And if you look at the script, you will see a lot of people coming in, not only the central government, now the district assemblies are weak, and then we also have some individuals, philanthropists who are also coming in. If you read the script from who, for instance, somebody being a member of a board is coming in, linking with other agencies. So you could see that we are now expanding the networking, where we are bringing in many multi-stakeholders to come into the education development. So I think that's a good thing that is happening.
Okay. Mr. Pibansa, what do you think is the catalyst? What actually was the push for you, the whole municipal education directorate? What was the catalyst for you to go ahead and make sure that there's a new classroom block for the people of Akamakpatoy? That Richard came in, the supply of logistics and tables to the pupils who were lying on the floor at Hokoji Primary, I believe, and then, provision of water facilities for Klamakpato again. What was the catalyst? What pushed you to make sure that all these happened?
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. If you are at the helm of affairs and you are giving such a feedback, then it means you've been given the baseline. That is how you're going to be judged. So immediately you came, we had a feedback, a team was put in place. In fact, the desire, the interest were there, and the officers there to work. But when these feedbacks came, we said, "Oh, we have to step in immediately." So quickly, we set up a team and we visited all the schools that you visited, and to have a first-hand information. Not that we were not have, we did not have this, but the agency was not there. So immediately you came, you gave us the feedback. We visited the schools and brought all the stakeholders on board. Especially because some of the schools were unit schools. Yeah, so we met them, we met the assembly, we visited the municipal chief executive, and in fact we had a meeting and we said, no, we have to do something about our schools, more especially that they are in the regional capital and the whole municipality, you know. If that is how the whole region will be judged, if things are going bad in the whole municipality, then what about the other districts? So that was the catalyst, actually.
For Cape Coast, Mr. Wahab, what would you say was the catalyst? The formation of a watchdog committee, and then you have a bylaw, you know, which has been gazetted by the assembly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you are looking at making sure that these pupils do not stay after hours. The situation for me is a very big one.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
What was the catalyst?
Yes,
what pushed you into thinking? Did you not know that you could do all this time?
Yeah, Rebecca, just as I said earlier on, curriculum has revealed a lot of things. The project has revealed a lot of things. And so once we are aware that these are things going on, there's every need for us to, everyone to be on board to ensure that we put things right. When it came to light that our children, they are out there in the night, just playing, there was a need for us to put things together to ensure that, no, they must get in. And so, really, the actual catalyst, let me say, is the project, the curriculum that we were viewing on GTV. That has actually pushed all of us into, you know, doing something to ensure that our BEC graduates actually perform. And so, basically, the curriculum is doing that. But then, ever since the Metro Assembly, like we had reported earlier, they were putting together bylaws. But when this thing came up, they had to, you know, hasten the process and ensure that the bylaws are gazetted. And once they are gazetted, then it means you can implement it without any fear of whatsoever. Again, the CCME has also embarked on improving on you know, learning environment of schools by providing classrooms. And as I speak to you, a number of schools that we visited have had some classroom projects. Yeah.
We know of Abra and Madia.
Yes, Abra St. Lawrence.
It's St. Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's the
and
one.
And Abra Madia is benefiting from a
resource center.
Yes, Science Resource Center, okay, from Honorable Ebo Bakinodro, the MP for North Constituency. Yes, all these interventions are now coming up to ensure that our graduates will perform creditably.
Give us the link, Mr. Said. How will that help address that issue of falling standards in education? How?
Yes. For all this while, let them take Science Resource Center, for instance. For all this while, schools are doing science practicals, or theory practicals.
In abstract?
Yes, in abstract. Theory practical means just demonstrating. Yeah. But then, with this Science Resource Center coming in from our MP, what it's going to do to us is that, I mean, for the first time, the child will be using chemicals, you know, will be analyzing the components of water as hydrogen and oxygen. And so this will actually, first of all, the child will appreciate science, and he'll be able to, answer, science questions and improve upon his performance. So indeed, it is in the right direction to have it and to help us out of our woes.
Okay, I'll come to Mr. Pibansa, but Mr. Edu, I thought that before a school is approved to do science, they must be well resourced, not like everything, but at least they must have a center. So if they are teaching science, how are they teaching the science?
No, thank you. For basic schools, everybody is doing science. It's not like in the secondary, even in the secondary school, science is a core subject. So everybody is supposed to do science. And the basic school science is not like the secondary school science. You expect that most of the science classes could be done in the classrooms. We need some basic things in the science, like the beakers, the measure instrument here and there. We need all these basic things. So for the for the basic education science, it's not as we need a sophisticated center to do that. You need only the basic things. So we expect that all schools should be able to carry on the science in a more practical way. You see, always I say that, you see, the teacher is key here. I remember I visited a school some time ago when they were teaching the type of soil, using all sort of diagrams and charts. And I talked to the teacher that you have the land just outside there. Why don't you just go there, start digging, and then you get to know the types of soil rather than just wasting your time using charts and other things. So for the basic education science, the teacher is key. If the teacher is interested in science, I think they can make it.
Yes, this is the curriculum we're discussing, success stories after GBC Star Ghana went into Cape Coast and Obuasi. A lot of contribution from our beneficiary communities on improving the quality of basic education in their various districts. We're getting a lot of response from our audience, listeners, viewers. Someone here is saying that as for poor performance of students, we will continue to okay if top officials stop protocolism. That person has no name. Please send your name and where you're calling from. George from Kwewu says he likes our discussion. Abdullah from Wa says supervisors are the cost of all of this. They don't take action against lazy teachers who are not in class. That's Abdullah from Wa. Supervisors are the cause of all this poor performance. All right, keep your messages coming, but do not call that line. Just send text messages 0505-311-879. And Mr. Wahab was talking about resource centers and how resource centers will help enhance teaching and learning and better performance in BEC to come, and we say do is endorsing that. Correct? Mr. Edu? Oh, you didn't listen?
No, I didn't.
I said you were endorsing what Wahab said.
Yes. Yes, what I'm saying is that fine, we need the resource centers, but we don't want to just hang on the resource centers as key, because if you look at the secondary school, we have resource centers for the cluster of schools.
Okay.
But the basic school, we expect that the teachers can do the sciences in the classroom, but the resource center will be just a supplement to what they do in the classrooms.
Okay, okay. Mr. P. Bansa, for our pupils at Aklamakbetoy who have no electricity, we were teaching them ICT in abstract. They did not even have the computers at all. Now we hear and we've seen in little Harrison Kuku, the 5-year-old people telling us that he's touched the computer, the mouse, the system unit. But the only thing is that he needs the electricity to power, so that he can feel and understand and, you know, emotion, everything, like his other colleagues in other schools. So when are you promising Harrison that electricity?
Yeah, here again, we met the community. Okay. Yes, and after a lengthy discussion with them, already the community has put in a strategy. You know, they have a thick plantation now. So yes, we don't have the money to go in for the treated one. So it's a sort of battle between the community and the ECG. That yes, give us the treated ones, then come and fell the ones we have. So that is the type of arrangement that the community has entered with ECG. In fact, we made a follow-up, and we wanted to quicken the pace. So we'll see ECG so that this arrangement can be put in place as early as possible. However, they've not left out the MP of the area. He's fully aware and he's endorsed this strategy. So I think he also can step in. And so, in fact, the community is so much awakened with all the interventions that have gone into that school. And even as the Rotrat one, they've offered to provide a communal labor to support. And Rotrat came out with the idea that they will use 2 years, but the municipal chief executive said, no, 2 years is too much for me. I have put that one less than 6 months, that 3 classroom office, place of convenience is ready for the kids to use. So I'll assist you to use the same number of months to put up this one. And the community is ready to provide communal labor, stone and stand and everything. So that is the good news.
Good news. Stakeholder participation in improving the quality of education. Education is not for somebody in Accra, it's for all of us. So if we all pitch in at the end of the day, if it's good for all of us.
Yes.
But just criticizing all the time and not contributing to making it better, I think that is a problem.
The only thing is to education, a little education, to tell them they also have a responsibility. They have their roles, and then we are there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon P. Bansa, Head of Human Resource Management Development, Whole Municipal Directorate of Education. Mr. Stephen Edu, Basic Education Director, GES Accra. Mr. Said Wahab, Assembly Member, Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly, are joining us here, have joined us in the studio. We are discussing the curriculum, the impact of how the program has brought the impact of it in beneficiary communities of Ho and Cape Coast. And in a moment, we'll be taking a break. This program is coming to us by courtesy of Star Ghana, Strengthening Transparency, Accountability, and Responsiveness Ghana. We'll take a break and take a look at a footage of the curriculum. Welcome back to the studio. This is the curriculum. You just saw the picture from Econ Community in Cape Coast. They were holding a community there, but they're bringing all stakeholders together. That was on a Tuesday, a non-fishing day, to discuss the matters of falling standard of education there in Cape Coast. And we are looking at the impact of the curriculum on beneficiary communities, Cape Coast and Obuasi. We have the Director of Education in charge of basic education here, Mr. Stephen Edu. Mr. Saeed Wahab, an assembly member from Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly. Mr. Dixon P. Banser, Head Human Resource Management and Development Unit, Home Municipal Education Directorate. Now, remember, you can join us by texting. Please do not call that number. Some of our audience, listener, viewers are calling at 0505-311-879. Please send messages. I have a message for you, Mr. Edu. Someone is saying, and refused to put his name, is saying that postings of teachers is done disproportionately. Can you react to that? The person refused to put his name, but we're looking at the impact of teachers.
I don't really know
yes.
the disproportionately that he's talking about. Yes. But what we do normally is we only replace teachers where there are vacancies. So if there's vacancy in any place, then we expect to post a teacher there. But the challenge that we face right now is getting these teachers to the rural areas. Then that is the problem we have. We've tried to introduce a number of strategies to get these teachers to the rural areas. That is where we have the challenge. But I can assure you that now at least we have enough teachers in the system, and we are going to introduce where the vacancy, you have to go and then apply and then go to that place. So I think when that comes to fruition, we'll be able to get the teachers to these rural areas.
In some of the schools, teachers to handle the subjects are not there.
Yes, I think it's coming from the fact that we are not getting teachers in these rural areas, because if you go to the junior high school, at least they should have some specialist teachers, teachers for the ICT, teachers for science, mathematics, and whatever. But if the teachers are not there, then you find many other teachers who may not have that expertise to be teaching those subjects. It's a challenge, especially in our rural areas, and we are working on that.
I wish there would be a way to find some solutions to, you know, moving people away from Accra to other places.
We've done
every place else, just like in other countries,
if you look
where
at
people can live.
Yeah. If you look at the
UK, people can live
in that community.
Yes, and people can live in Cape Coast, stay there, work there. People must not come to Accra and be selling in the streets and doing all sorts of things because.
Yeah. You know, we have tried a lot of strategies. This year, for instance, we identified only 3 regions that needed teachers. That is the 3 northern regions and then part of the western region. So this year the postings were done in such a way that we sent a lot of people to the 3 northern regions and then the western region. Accra is choked, so this year we didn't post anybody to Accra. So we are now doing the rationalization, and I'm hoping that if you're able to complete successfully, at least you'll be able to now look at the challenges we have in most of our deprived areas.
Okay. Mr. P. Banser, can we do things differently in ensuring proactiveness and responsiveness from local national authorities in addressing our needs of basic education? Can we ensure proactiveness instead of waiting for someone to come and push you? Can we ensure that we are more proactive, and what can we do about that?
Yes, Rebecca, we can. But let me tell you, most of the time it isn't that those at the helm of affairs are not aware of such problems, but at times it's as a result of lack of the resources. And however, when it so happens that maybe feedbacks are given and there's that agency, that is where you realize that the resources are moved from elsewhere to tackle those ones that are very pressing. So we are aware. At times we have to be proactive, yes, but as to whether you have the resources, that is the challenge.
I have a quick question here. Yao from who is saying that for 4 months now, many teachers have had their salary stopped even though they are at post, how could they teach effectively, Yao, from home?
For 4 months?
Yeah, 4 months.
Stopped?
Yeah, he says for 4 months now, many teachers have had their salary stopped. Is it about the pupil-teacher thing?
Well,
do you know about that?
I'll respond to
that.
Okay.
Okay, well, let Mr. Edu respond.
Yes, we had a challenge. They had their salaries just after 3 months and then they were stopped. We have over 5,000 of such teachers. And as I speak now, it has been rectified. Yesterday, we were with Controller and Accountant General. We have rectified that one. So I'm very hopeful that all such teachers will get their salaries in December. We also have the newly trained teachers. That's over 9,000. That one too have been factored. And I'm very sure that they also get their pay before by December. We have other categories of people where the district have already put in their claims. We are working on that one. That one I cannot assure them that they will get in December, but I'm very hopeful that by January, February, we should be able to address all these challenges.
So Yao from Ho and others will be very happy because your Christmas bonus is on the way. Yeah. All right, Mr. Said, how do we ensure that we're doing things more proactively and not waiting? Because the issue of Cape Coast, it's one of great concern.
Yeah.
Because Cape Coast is a cradle of knowledge. We all assume and stereotypically we think that Cape Coast is the it of education, but in a place where BEC scores are zeros, that pupils cannot enter secondary school and that is it for them, is a cause for concern. How can we be more proactive towards stepping up to better the quality of education there in Cape Coast?
Right. That is why this feedback is very important. The feedback from curriculum is very, very important. And let me say, supervision comes in here. We need to be very proactive in supervising, in monitoring. Whatever goes wrong in a particular school, the head of the institution need to act. The stakeholders there need to act. You don't have to sit down unconcerned till things get out of hand. And so we need to step up, monitoring and then supervision. That is why in Abro community, the chief and elders have sat down and formed neighborhood watchdog committee to ensure that children who patronize night-long social activities, they get them in there at least to have rest and study. And so when we have such a facility in place or intervention in place, it will keep on and will maintain the pace and ensure that our children study. Much the same way the assembly is also up. When this thing came up, a lot of about 6 new school projects have been awarded to various schools, including all the schools that your team visited. And so we know that with this, the learning environment is being improved, and then we'll ensure that children also study and then pass. But like you ask, what are we doing to ensure that we will not sit down till things get out of hand? That's why we have collected the curriculum. We have to go community by community and then let them see it. And this because some will not have the opportunity seeing it on GTV.
So in other words, you're saying that you'll be organizing like a town hall,
precisely,
town hall session,
yes,
or for a greater audience,
exactly,
for them to watch.
To watch it, and once we connect them this way, everybody will be on toes, will be on board, and then we will ensure that good things happen. Okay.
Thank you. In a moment, we'll be opening the phone lines. The numbers to call 0302 770111, 0302 770222. Phone lines are open. You can call in with your questions, concerns on the curriculum. We're talking about the impact of the curriculum on beneficiary communities, how Cape Coast and Ho have worked at improving quality education in their various districts. Benjamin from Brong Alpha, you're on air.
Yeah, I'm calling from Benjamin. Hello?
Benjamin, you're on air. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. So, if private schools,
Benjamin.
Hello?
Benjamin, kindly lower the volume on your set and then go on.
I'm calling from Half.
Yes, go ahead, Benjamin.
Yeah, please. I want to know whether private schools, private training colleges are not included with posting.
I'm sorry, I did not hear you, Benjamin.
Please, I'm saying that the private training colleges, what are they? What government does for them?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear him.
Private colleges in posting of.
What is involved?
Yeah.
Okay, Benjamin wants to know what is involved in the posting of private technical schools.
No. Those who complete private training colleges.
I didn't hear
Yes. If it is about private colleges, this year in particular, at least we have even posted some of the students or trainees who left 3 colleges. Now the colleges will have to really regularize their training so that we are very much aware that this is what is happening there. And when they go through the accreditation and whatever, and then they are certified, they only have to link it up with the Ghana Education Service. And once they are noted and recognized, and then we go through the requirements, and then they certify all the conditions, they can form part of the posting. Okay. And even in future, what is going to happen is that the vacancies will be there, and then once they have been certified, they could also apply to get postings. Okay. Because very soon we will stop just posting people from the central point.
All right. Godwin from Amejofe, you're on air.
Yes, good evening to you and your panelists.
Go ahead, Godwin.
Yes, I want to make a contribution to the program.
Go ahead, Godwin.
This issue about the curriculum and how it will impact on the education, the results, I feel the results will not be achieved if the teacher is not targeted. The situation whereby teachers are employed for over 2.5 years without salary, and the same teacher is supposed to sit in the classroom and teach the students for the results we all want to see to transform Ghana to be achieved, cannot be reached. So that aspect of it must also be examined, so that the teacher will not leave the classroom to go and do any other thing to put food on the table. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Godwin. Your point is well noted here. Teacher pupil contact hours, very important. He's concerned about the teachers not being paid, so they find other ways of making money to put food on the table for their families. Teacher punctuality, commitment to duty. One of the issues that came up in Cape Coast, we found out, was absenteeism. The teachers were not in classroom. We're told that most of them are doing sandwich programs. And Mr. Assemblyman, some of them are assemblymen, like yourself, because you're a teacher yourself, and we're hearing that you've been going to a lot of meetings to the detriment of your pupils' education.
Yeah.
I hope you work on that even more now than ever before.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have a caller from Liberia camp. Go ahead, Yone. Isaac, Yone.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Oh, very good. I'm enjoying the program. But the way the director is answering questions that I come. My problem is we have zero business school around the country.
Isaac, can you lower the volume on your set, because we cannot hear you?
All right.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Yes, go ahead.
My problem is we have various business schools around the country. Teachers are being pushed, and sometimes their pay is being locked. But I hope at the end of the day, they will be paid. Secondly, they will complain of resources. And yet, they will be paid. The question is that, as a basic school teacher, you have to use your technology to find basic things to help the people in the classroom. If you and I are able to depend upon a government or anybody, you can't achieve.
Don't forget, the past, those who are passed through, as the writer himself, I don't know where it was dedicated from, but yet they were able to pass through. So as a true teacher, you have to make sure that you get your own resources. As a director, make an example that a teacher is teaching, and he's teaching the children why a soil is just outside the backyard. Okay? When they compare resource, I don't know what the common resource is all about. I don't know what they learn at the training school. Make the research yourself. That's research. Make research yourself. Come to a classroom. Prove that you are somebody. A child in the classroom depends upon you, but not the government. Hello?
Your point is well made, Isaac.
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
We have to be impact knowledge to the teachers themselves to know that they are human beings, that some people are learning from them. So if they were able to explain the child very well or teach it very well, then we're going to gain. Because when you go to Japan or any outside the country, these are what they do. Practical things, child will perform than theory. You see, so from the minister or from the president to the end, we all depend on pen. But practical is one of the best ways. I hope I'm done.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Your point is well noted. Teachers should be more practical than theory. Any comments on that?
Rebecca, if I may put the two together. The first caller did mention about the concerns of teachers.
Yes.
Teachers who stay for long and they are not paid. Let me say that we appreciate the concerns of teachers, but they should also know that some of these problems has come about because of the challenges that we face with our pay role, and that is why the Ministry of Finance has put in place measures to at least check some of these things. So if as a result some teachers have been affected, at least it's just unfortunate, but like I said, we are working on all these things. But there's also one thing, that some of these teachers, when they are posted, they don't report to their stations on time. So by the time they go there, they might have submitted all the returns, which is also affecting the delay in the payment of teachers. And the last caller is also talking about the commitment of teachers, which is very, very important. A teacher, you have been trained to inspire children to learn. And if you go to the classroom without adequate preparation, there's no way that you can really inspire the children to learn. So it is a plea to all teachers to also be more committed to the work, as we also work around to take care of their concerns.
All right, we have Mustafa on the line. Mustafa from Techiman.
What I want to ask...
Mustafa from Techiman, kindly lower the volume on your set and then we can hear you.
Oh, my TV is off. I'll switch off my TV. It's off, please.
Thank you. Go ahead.
What I want to add is that one policy that the teachers should be able to, improvise and then teach very well. But you see, all these things come when the teacher is not having practical problems to think about. You see, if the teacher not pay for 2 months, just 2 months, teachers don't have any other source of income. You see, so if you deny the teacher a salary for 2 months and you expect that he should teach very well, I'm afraid psychologically the guy cannot do this. You see, so all planning, let us think of the teacher's welfare. That's very, very important.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa there from Techiman. The teachers, everybody's talking about the teachers here. Very, very important in ensuring that we have quality education. Yeah. Very, very important. Now, let's move quickly as we round up here to sustaining this good efforts that Cape Coast who have put in to ensure improving quality education in your district. Mr. P. if I want to start with you, what efforts are you thinking? What you're talking about, you want to sustain it. What have you put in place? If you can round up for us.
Thank you.
To ensure that you sustain this.
Yeah, thank you. Before I left, we planning to for the Municipal Education Oversight Committee to meet, because that's the overall committee that is responsible for making policies and overseeing issues concerning education in the municipality.
Okay.
So we with what you've given, I think we're going to screen whatever this pictures to them to see, to tell the stories, and then they will sit down and then formulate their policies. However, at the Municipal Education Office, we've already started some activities like these are model schools that we've selected, and
which
already
is obviously a long-term thing.
A long term,
Okay.
yeah. It has
All
already
right.
started working,
Thank
and then
you
the
very
Municipal Assembly, I told we are also to intensify supervision.
Okay.
We want to acquire motorbikes for all our circuit supervisors. So
thank
that,
you.
yeah.
Thank
so
you very
that I
much.
think,
Mr. Said, briefly, how do you intend to sustain it?
Yeah, the CCMA is working vehemently on getting
What
this
is CCMA?
Cape Coast Metro Assembly.
Okay.
Yes, working very fast to get the curriculum to communities to ensure that we sustain it.
Excellent. GES,
Yeah.
Mr. Edu,
3 quick things.
how can you help us?
Yeah,
sustain
3 quick
this?
things. At least one thing we have learned from this program is the use of the multi-stakeholders approach, which I think can help us to get all people around for us to sustain whatever good intentions that have come up. Then secondly, I want to also impress on assemblies to have very, very good data so that they can plan the expansion of our schools. You don't have to wait for the children to come before we do that.
Okay.
And then thirdly, we need to go back to the time when we used to maintain our school facility regularly, because if you put up these buildings without maintenance, you still go back to the old.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Edu, Director, Basic Education, Ghana Education Service. Mr. Dixon P. Bansa, Head, Human Resource Management and Development Unit, Whole Municipal Education Directorate. Said Wahab, Assembly Member, Unit, Cape Coast. Assembly Member from Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly. Thank you all for your help, and thank you all for supporting Same Curriculum, Different Opportunities, the curriculum project in your various districts, and for doing so much. You have pledged to sustain this project. We have been having support so far from Star Ghana, Strengthening Transparency, Accountability and Responsiveness Ghana. This has been the curriculum. The news is next. My name is Rebecca Ekpe. Stay tuned. Have a good evening. But remember, we're coming back, concluding part in a